Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here on this webinar, 5 simple steps that you must take right now to protect yourself from hackers. My name is Fernando Sosa, and I'm going to be going over quickly here on some cybersecurity tips and current trends that are happening. We're going to get in and out very quickly. I'm going to go over any questions that you have, and hopefully you'll learn some things that you must take action right now. So let me go ahead and get started very quickly. Now I'm going to switch over here, and I'm going to first of all, thank the sponsors. Our sponsors for today are the Teenage Chamber of Commerce, also Worry Free MD, which is the healthcare IT services from HaonTech, also Advanced Data Systems Corporation. I want to thank them. They're an EHR software company. They develop medical billing software and EHRs for healthcare practices. If you're in the healthcare field, definitely check them out. They will help you, see more patients, be more mobile, and generate more revenue. So I'll put the links to all our sponsors in the description below, and also, so I'll put them on the description so you can go ahead and check them out. I also want to thank 5-star Premier Residences of Teaneck. They're a senior living community in Teaneck, New Jersey. If you're in the market or your family or relative is looking for a senior living community, check them out. They have an excellent facility, great people. Again, I'll leave the link in the description below as well. 5-star Premier Residences of Teaneck. All right, so those are our sponsors for today. So today what we're going to cover is I'm going to cover the current trends in cybersecurity for small businesses. I'll go over common cybersecurity issues that I found in other businesses like yours. Typically, when we go in, just going over the common ones that we see, and I'm going to share those with you. I'm also going to tell you how to protect yourself without breaking the bank. We won't make recommendations or suggestions that you're going to need millions of dollars of investment like a large corporation would. So I'll give you some protection tips there, and I'll answer any questions. If you have any questions, I'll answer them live. Feel free to type in the questions in the comments below. If you have any questions right away, you can go ahead and type them right now, or even just to say hello. I'll take a look at all the questions. Maybe not during the presentation, but I'll take a look at them after. And if we don't have enough time, I'll definitely follow up and make sure I get all the questions answered. So just type in the questions below, and I will check it out here. Okay, I'll also be giving away a bonus at the end. So cybercrime is not something new. It's at an all-time high. It's been this way for a number of years, and it's just continuing to go more aggressively. And the hackers are setting their sights on the small businesses, because the small businesses are the low-hanging fruit. It's always been that way, and there's many reasons for that. And you want to make sure that you're not the next victim. Why are they the long-hanging fruit? I'll get into that more in the next slides here. But the question that you want to ask yourself: are you a sitting duck? Okay, let's make the analogy of a duck. Hunters, when it's hunting season, they go out hunting ducks. I don't like hunting or killing ducks, but the ducks are out there. They're just sitting there. Very easy target, easy prey. They're just a target. That's the analogy to companies, business owners that have no cyber protection, no plan in place. They're just sitting there waiting to be hacked. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when are they going to be hacked. So are you a sitting duck? So a couple of things, common things that we can go over is typically you see that they have no password policy. It's always a random occurrence about setting passwords, setting and forgetting password, writing down password. No hardware protection, no firewalls, nothing of that nature. They just plug in their computer and they go. No software protection, no security awareness. They're not really sure how things are progressing in terms of cyber threats. There's no backup plan. What happens if you get hacked? You start panicking or calling somebody. These are things that identify you if you are a sitting duck. You have no file management system. You don't know where your files are, your folders are all over the place, you're saving things. And then if there's an emergency, you don't know where the things are. Like think about the analogy of a house, right? You're in your house and you have your documents, your passport, your important documents. If you don't have them filed somewhere, if there's an emergency, a fire or something, you're gonna lose it, or you're not gonna know where everything is in the event of an emergency, because you're not thinking about that. Obviously, you want to be at the safe place and get out. But if you have something in the same place or in one place, you're in a much better position. So in terms of your computer and your digital assets, the same thing. File management, no patch management, no updates being done. These are all small common things that make you a sitting duck. And there's many other things, but these are common ones. Now, ultimately, what we're going to cover is how to avoid being a sitting duck, right, to cyber criminals, and how to protect the work that you worked so hard to achieve. So what we're going to do, at the end, like I mentioned, there's a free bonus. Hang on to the end. Just put your comments below, and we're going to get into that at the end. I'm going to give a mobile device policy template, which that will help you with your mobile device policy. And that's one of the things that I'll explain in a couple of minutes. So let's move on. So who am I, right? Who am I to be talking about this? I'm a small business owner. I have an IT company, HaonTech, and I'm a technology consultant, a project manager. I'm a tech person. I help small business owners, small businesses, healthcare providers maximize their profits and be more productive with their technology. And I've helped large organizations, nonprofits, medical practices, etc. So cybersecurity, it's always top of mind, and it's always one of the things that people are most concerned of when I go in, because they're very lax in terms of cybersecurity. So let's one of the things that I see common is when I go to a practice or a business that is small, the mindset is, oh, I'm too small, right? I'm too small. Nobody would bother to hack us, right? Just let me fix my computer or do something. That's the wrong mindset, okay? That's wrong. Like I said at the beginning, small businesses, small and medium businesses are the low-hanging fruit. Why is that? Because typically, smaller businesses, they don't have, they lack the resources, being money or people, to focus and take care of their IT, their technology. So they're busy doing their day-to-day activities, spending money on trying to get clients and that sort of thing. And for that reason, then their technology and their security is not taken care of as they should be. So comparing the large corporations to the small corporations, large corporations already understand cybersecurity. They're spending the money that they need to spend, and still they're getting hacked, some of them, But the smaller businesses are the low-hanging fruit because they lack the protections that they need. So statistically, 1 in 5 small business fall victim to cybercrime. And this is an old statistic, but it keeps on getting pretty much the same statistic happening over and over time. And it's only getting worse. It's just that the scale is getting bigger and bigger. Small businesses are low-hanging fruit. Like I said, they don't have protocols in place. They don't have security systems in place. And that's the reason. And typically when there's a hack that happens, it's not a personal thing. Don't take it personally. They don't necessarily attack you. They just go out to the masses, and whoever is the low-hanging fruit falls victim. That's pretty much it. Unless you're a very high-profile person that somebody's going to actually attack and try to attack. Hackers in general, they go and do a shotgun approach, and they don't go personally by attacking people. It's devices. They look for the vulnerabilities in the masses, and those are the low-hanging fruit. Half of them are targeted to small businesses. So spam keeps on being one of the biggest points of entry for hackers. It's just so easy to do, and so easy to fall victim to. So it just continues to be one of the top ways that hackers get to you. And it's a combination of technology, very minimal technology skills, and more of a social engineering kind of approach where they're tricking you into taking some kind of action with the body of the email that you received. So that's one of the things that we want to be careful is when we're receiving spam. And I'm sure you've heard this over and over again. So how do you protect yourself? Okay, this is the whole reason why we're here. I'm going to go over 5 simple steps, right? First thing is that you want to get serious about protecting yourself against cybercrime. When I say serious, is this, I mean, don't dabble into this. Don't just say, oh yeah, I know about it. You know, if you're investing in your business, you want to be take it seriously, because something will happen eventually. Something, you know, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. And if it happens, that's it. You know, it's only going to take one hack, one good hack to just get you out of business. So what does this look like? How do you protect your business? Again, my promise to you is it's going to be simple, not expensive, not something like an incredible high tech solution, but it's going to be like a layer, or like a first level of approach, how to approach it. So the 5 simple steps. Number 1, just password management. Have a password audit. Okay, first thing, go over all of your websites, all of your services, everywhere you have a login and a password. Write them down, make a list. Where are all your accounts? Typically what happens with personal and business accounts is that you go into these sites and services and you randomly ad hoc just create a username and password. Sometimes you save it in the browser, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you write it down on a sticky note, and then you go on to the next site and the next service. Over time, what happens is that you accumulate all these accounts out there on the internet. And then when one of these accounts gets hacked, they go on what's called the dark web, and then those accounts get compromised, and then those accounts are used, those credentials are used to access other sites, because people typically start using the same accounts on multiple sites, and it just happens over and over. So you need to have, it's just normal now. Like, it's something that wasn't done before. You have to just change your mindset. There's a couple of things that you just have to start doing. It's just new. It might be new to you, but it's not new to, this has been going on for a long time. But if you're not doing this, just add this as a normal course of doing business. Some of them cost money, some of them don't. Some of them are just practices, just common best practices. So have a password audit of what you have right now. And now, after you have this audit, now you have to be able to manage it. Make them secure, make them unique. Don't use the same password on other websites, right? Each website, each service has to have their own unique username and password. Now, password is something that it might go away over time. You know, there's other technology being used for authentication, like biometric security, there's facial recognition, there's tokens, there are two-factor authentication, there's different methods. But password in general is something that's still here to stay for a long time. So we need to be able to do a better job managing our passwords. But how do you do that? Okay, at the beginning, it might have been manageable, you know, 1, 2, 3, 5 sites. But now every site, everything is a username and password. So how is it possible that you can make this, you can do this? Well, the thing is that you have to now introduce, if you haven't done it, introduce a way to manage this requirement of having passwords and having them secure and unique. So there are tools, tools that can help you with that task. So this is something that you have to add onto your normal course of doing business. Have some type of a tool to manage your passwords. There's many out there. I can recommend the one that we use, but you have to use something, because there's no way in the world that you're going to be able to remember like hundreds of passwords and make them secure and change them. And if they're, there's no way to do that unless you have some type of a utility to do that. Okay. And there, obviously nothing is 100%, but it's much, much safer and secure to do this that way. Definitely don't put on sticky notes. Don't put it on a spreadsheet. Don't put it on a piece of paper. That is not that's not the approach that you need to take. Okay. So that's step one, passwords. Step two is security training and awareness. One of the first, the number one issues or entry points or causes for data breaches is not technology. It's actually human error or human interference, the human factor, the human element. And it's because it doesn't matter how secure, for example, with the analogy of a house, it doesn't matter how many locks a door has in a house, a gate, a lock, an alarm. If the person inside lets the thieves come in, they let the thieves come in. It doesn't matter how secure it is. So that's in the digital world. What happens is that people tend to do something that lets the hackers come in. So if you don't have a training and awareness program in your business, that's an area, an easy, low-hanging fruit, an easy way to improve your security posture is by having some type of training and awareness. And again, there's ways. I'm not going to get into the details of which ones they are now, but that's something that you have to put on your list to do. Okay. The third one is have security updates, security and computer updates, patch management updates. Common issues with security breaches that happen is because systems are out of date. So think about this. Software, the programs that run on the computers, they're developed, they're coded by people, right? And they're coded by people to do certain things. So when they're finished, they're done, they release it to the public starts using the software. But what happens is that hackers look for ways to break into the software and get into your data and do whatever harm they do. So when that happens, then the software vendor, the company that makes the software, they have to go in and change it and fix the vulnerability so the hackers don't come in again. And so it's a cat and mouse game. It's an ongoing thing. And that's where computer updates happen. Again, think about it in a house. You build a house and the house, one window, you notice that it's not secure or it's in a bad, it's in a bad spot and you go to the builder and you say, no, that's not very secure. So let me go fix it, because then the thieves are outside surveying a house and seeing, where do I go in? Where do I go in? Where do I go in? Right. And it's a cat and mouse game. So that's kind of the main reason for the updates. So it's very important that you have to have all your systems up to date, because otherwise it gets to a point where that's the low-hanging fruit for the hackers. The hackers look for systems that are out of date, whether it's the operating system, like if it's Windows or whatever, or whether it's the software program that you're running on your computer, or whether it's a hardware, right? The hardware as well. The hardware, your appliances, your routers, your things like those have software running on top of them. So think about it, for example, like between hardware and software. Think about it like a car. You have a car, a vehicle, that's the hardware. But the car has a computer in it, and that has software in it. So there's software that runs your car. So that has to be updated. There's cars that are hacked as well, because they have to have updates done on the software. So it's a must. It's a must to be up to date. Okay. And that is something that requires ongoing maintenance, you have to be on top of that. So security updates is another step. The other step is to have a backup plan, a contingency plan. What happens when there's an issue? Okay. Recently, not security related, we had, there was a Facebook issue that happened yesterday, right? They were down for almost 6 hours. There's contingency, and a lot of things went wrong there, but it wasn't, from what they say, it wasn't a security issue. It was more like a configuration issue or a mistake that was done on a configuration. But you have to have a contingency plan to recover. Okay. The value of Facebook, of Mark Zuckerberg, went down by billions of dollars during that outage. That's an extreme case. What about if something happens in your business? Can you be down for a few hours? Can you be down for a few days? How much business will you lose? That's what happens when there's a breach. You can be out for days or weeks, depending on the type of event that happens. So you want to have a backup in place, whether it's a data backup and then the word backup is used very loosely. Don't think that all backups are the same. Not all backups are created equal. So you want to understand, when you have a backup solution, what exactly are your backup? How does it work, and what are you able to recover? Don't assume that I have a backup, I can recover. What exactly? Because there's different types of backup, different levels of backup. And sometimes you have to have a backup of a backup and different types, and the duration that it takes to recover. It gets more complicated. So you want to understand, and you have to have a test. You have to test these things. Don't just set a backup and never test it and say, yeah, I have a backup. But then when you have an emergency, you don't know how to recover it, or you haven't really tested it, so it actually ends up not even working. That's the worst case scenario, that you have a backup and it doesn't work when you need it. That's happened. I've seen it happen. It's like the equivalent of a fire drill, right? You have fire drills, right? Those are exercises to help you know what to do in the event of an emergency, right? You have a plan, a fire evacuation plan, and then you have a fire drill to test it. Same thing with your data. You have a backup, but then you have to test it. That's one thing that I see that happens a lot, that people, they have their backups, but they don't test it, and they don't really know if it's actually working. So a backup and contingency plan is very, very important. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to type it in. I'll check them as at the end, but don't forget to comment below. All right, so the next one I have is mobile device policy. As people use more and more their own devices, or even corporate devices like their mobile phones, to check email, to access files, to share files, any company resource that is accessed on a mobile device, what do you do with that device if the device is stolen, lost, if the employee leaves? That is something that is so common that I see over and over, and it's neglected. And especially now with the pandemic, more people are using their personal laptops or their iPads or their iPhones, and there's no policy in place. They're accessing company resources, and that data is out there on an unsupported device. So you have to have a policy in place to manage that, to know what to do. So it's a combination of policy and technology. So we have a policy template I'll share with you with the person that wins it here. So that's very, very important to have in place. Very simple to do, and will definitely raise your level of security if you take care of it. Let me give you a last one as a bonus, and it's a bonus, but it's very important, is that you want to have a managed firewall in place. Okay, a firewall is a device that is your first point of protection in the perimeter of your network, and it typically is located in your network closet, if you have one, where your modem and your router is. It protects you from the incoming and even the outgoing traffic from the internet coming inside to your network. Okay, it's your first line of defense. Okay, and the key word here is managed. You want to have something that is not just you set it and forget it. You need to be able to monitor and manage it, because that has updates done as well. There's a software that runs on it, and it makes it work, and it has to be kept up to date and monitored. So having a firewall is one of those things that is often neglected and disregarded, because you don't need one to have internet connection. right? Typically, a business will be comfortable just because they have internet connection, and they'll say, "Why do I need a firewall? I already have internet." The firewall is it's a layer of protection. Your internet provider is not responsible. They're not in the security business. That's not their job. And they might throw in some marketing term that their router has some security and protection, but they don't keep that up to date. It's not, you have to be responsible for your network. And the key piece of your network is having that firewall in place. Okay, so all these things that I mentioned are things that probably are things that if you don't have in place, you just have to add it as a normal operating expense or operating way of doing business that you just have to add on to what you have in place. It's just that simple. There's no, this is not something that will break the bank, because there's many more other advanced things that you can do and that you should do, I would say, depending on your situation. Okay, so that's pretty much everything I'm going to cover for today. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the comment section below, and I'll follow up and answer any question that you have. Don't forget to follow me on social media. And remember, October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and that's one of the reasons why we're doing this webinar series. So just to raise awareness on cybersecurity. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching until the end. Feel free to share this with somebody else that might benefit from this. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and just let me know in the comments. I'd like to know. All right, that's all that I have for now. Thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.